Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, The Medieval Reader. So first I want to apologize for my voice. I am recovering from bronchitis, so I know that my voice is a bit raspy, but it was worse and I'm feeling better and hopefully it's not too bad. I just wanted to make sure to make a video about something medieval every Monday. I'm trying to keep to this schedule. Maybe we'll call it Medieval Monday. So today's topic is the history of the University of Bologna in what is today Italy. Bologna is a city in northern Italy, and the University of Bologna is considered the oldest continuously running university in the world. It was established in 1088, but it got its charter, from Frederick I Barbarossa in 1158. So while it appears that the university was founded in the 11th century, it was really in the 12th century when it started picking up, and as you will see, the 13th century was where a lot of the action happened and where the university became more and more established. What's interesting about the University of Bologna is, unlike many other universities in Europe, like the University of Paris, Bologna was known mostly for jurisprudence, both civil law and canon law. And it was also student-run. So a lot of the students that came to Bologna were considered foreigners from the perspective of the commune. So Bologna was an independent commune. And the students, because they were foreigners, they were not receiving protection from the commune. Furthermore, the teaching doctors, as they were called, the professors, were also on the side of the commune, or rather the commune had forced the teachers to be on their side, creating this wedge between the teachers and the students. And so the students, so that they would be able to remain in Bologna and continue to receive their education and for purposes of protection, they created a guild. And the student guild, while not officially recognized, was de facto recognized because the students hired contingent faculty who needed the gift money from the students for their livelihood. And so they did end up submitting to the students' demands. And that's what I think is really interesting, is that you have a university that is run by students, and these students have a lot of power, in fact, considerably more power than the professors. And the professors accept it, so to speak, because they need the students for their own livelihood. They need the students to give them money, so they will submit to all of the students' demands. At one point, the students and the commune got into so much conflict that the students actually protested, and Pope Honorius III defended the students against the commune, which of course was to his own interest, because of course the Pope is in conflict with the commune. And so, the students getting this kind of support from higher up was really beneficial to them. But once the professors, the teaching doctors as they were called, once they were on a salary, then the student power dwindled away. The students weren't able to have this absolute power over their teachers because the teachers were no longer contingent faculty. So as I said, the University of Bologna was known for its jurisprudence, not for the 7 liberal arts, which the other universities, like the University of Paris, were known for. And the 2 types of law that were taught was civil law and canon law. So civil law here was the digest, and the digest was an abridged version of Roman law, compiled in the 6th century by the Eastern Emperor Justinian. So Justinian had this project of compiling Roman law it's known as the Corpus Juris Civilis. I will include this all in the description below. But the Corpus Juris Civilis was the body of civil law. And there were 3 parts to it. The first part was the Codex. The second part, known as the Digest or the Pandex, sometimes referred to as the Pandex, was an abridged version of Roman law. And that is what was taught at the University of Bologna. And then the third part of Justinian's project were the institutions. The Corpus Juris Civilis was definitely inspired by and borrowed from older law codes, for example, the Theodosian Code. And in 1070, the digest was rediscovered, which is the reason why in the 11th, 12th, 13th centuries, this was so prominent. This was the civil law. There was this attempt at showing the connection between Bologna and just Europe and its Roman heritage. So that is on the civil side. And then canon law, which is church law, Catholic church law. Canon law was compiled by Gratian in a work known as the Decretum. And this was the official textbook of canon law, published around 1170. And that was very, very important throughout the Middle Ages. If you're interested in learning more about the history of the University of Bologna, I recommend an article that was published in 1980 in History Today. It's called Student Power in the Middle Ages, and the author is Alan Coben. I will, of course, link it below. And it talks about the student-run nature of the university, how it was similar and how it was different from the student protests in the 1960s, talking about, how much power the students had and what did that entail. And what Coben points out is that unlike the student protests in the 1960s, the 13th century students at the University of Bologna were not trying to reform the university. They were not challenging the university structure. In fact, they had a very conservative university structure in mind and a fairly conservative curriculum. It wasn't really about university reform at all. It was more about them having protection despite the laws in the commune not giving them protection. Anyway, this was really interesting for me. I started looking into the university's history, the University of Bologna's history, because I'm currently taking a course on the history of early modern and medieval law. And as I was looking up the Corpus Juris Civilis, I came across the University of Bologna, and it was really, really interesting to me. What I thought is really interesting is the name Corpus Juris Civilis was used for the first time only in 1583 by a man named Denis Godefroy. He was a Calvinist humanist who gave himself the name Dionysius Godefridus. I just love the humanists' names. And he produced an edited version of the Codex, and it's in that edition, or the title of that edition was Corpus Juris Civilis. So he is the one who coined the term in the 16th century. At the time, in the 13th century, that term wasn't used. So yeah, the University of Bologna was very, very important, and it has prompted me to learn more about the different medieval universities. Thank you everybody for watching, and I will talk to you later. Bye now.